Leisel Taylor has been gracious enough to host this class, and she'll tell you a little bit more about herself coming up. But before we get started, we have to give thanks to our sponsors. Giovanni, I saw you log into the room. How are you today, my man?
Doing great, Kevin. How are you?
Very good. Do you need screen share today?
I don't, just as long as everyone can see me. So maybe if you want to stop sharing screen, we'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Give me a sec. All right, Giovanni, thank you so much for being the sponsor of this class. Please go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us what you do and all the amazing products that you offer realtors for not only closing, but just for life in general.
Yeah, most absolutely, Kevin. Thanks so much for you guys for being here, for leveling up your business, right? I'm sure I can speak on behalf of Leisel. We appreciate you guys being here, showing up. If you're not familiar with what we do, like Kevin said, my name's Giovanni Pastrana. I'm with the Cutting Edge Gift team of Cutco Closing Gifts. And what we do, we help to make sure that your clients stay your clients forever, right? That you stay top of mind with every client you work with. I see some familiar faces in the room. So do me a favor, if you go in the chat box, just share what are some of the most common, closing gifts you see given, whether other agents give them or, you see given out in the industry. Share some of the most common gifts, and I'll open up the chat box here. And don't be shy. Well, I'll do some heavy lifting if I need to, right? With some of the most common gifts, right? Wine, champagne, gift cards, baskets. Those are usually always some of the most popular, gifts. I always say, I'm not here to tell you clients don't like your gifts. We love gifts. They're free, right? But what we found was there was a main challenge with 90% of gifts. Your client, they eat it, they drink it, they spend it, right? 90% of gifts, they're here today and they're gone tomorrow. So we kind of just found the solution, like Kevin said. We help you get a world-class product. And one of the products we're probably most known for is our Cutco. And if you own Cutco, I see some folks here in the house. If you own Cutco, maybe share in the chat box how long you've had your Cutco. Just for those that aren't familiar, maybe they can you can share with them maybe how long you've had your Cutco at home. But all it is like the Rolls Royce, the Bentley of kitchen knives, right? They're 100% made in America. They're guaranteed forever. They're super high quality. And what we do with the Cutco products, and again, if you own it, feel free to share in the chat box. We just take that product that sometimes people have had for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. We'll take it and we'll engrave it, right? We'll just brand it with your business. Keeps you top of mind. We'll engrave your logo, your name, your phone number. And there's just a couple of things for your business. Keeps you top of mind. It helps spark some conversation, right? When they have friends and family over at a family gathering. Hey, where'd you get those white-handled knives or those, red-handled knives? Oh, Leisel, she's my realtor. She helped me buy the property, right? And because it's engraved, it's 100% tax deductible. So a little loophole, you can thank me for. If you've seen me before, I like to reward people for taking some action in their business. So I'm going to give you my cell phone number really quick. And if you have interesting gifts, you have closings coming up, we've been getting bombarded lately. So I like rewarding people for taking some action in their business. I'll give you my cell phone number. And if you have closings coming up or if you have interest, just text me with your name and your email so I know who you are. And I'll get you $100 in free Cutco with your order. Again, not as a pressure, just as a thank you for taking some action in your business. So here's my cell phone number, and I'll drop it in the chat box as well. 954-303 9809. Again, 954-303-9809. Just text me your name and your email and we'll get you squared away for that. I appreciate you guys having me. I'll kick it back off to you, Kevin, so you can take it away.
Oh yeah, but before you go, do you have, I know you're known for your Cutco, do you offer any other products or services as well? And if so, talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, most definitely, Kevin. We've got a bunch of different products. The Cutco is probably what we're most known for just because it has strong brand recognition. A lot of people know about it. We also do have some awesome cutting boards. You can probably see one of them here. These are going to be handmade by veterans in our factory in North Carolina. The wood comes from the Appalachian Mountains. Again, almost everything we have is made in America, which is unique nowadays, right? So everything's made in America. This just happens to support, our Army vets, which is awesome. And then we have some lower cost drink tumblers, wine gifts, and some lower cost options. And then what's been really popular as well has been some of our automated drip campaign follow-ups, right? So where we can send, 2, 3, 4 gifts over the next 12 to 18 months to your clients, low cost, touches, but things that help make sure you're staying top of mind and we can drop ship and take care of all the fulfillment, on our backside of it for you to be loving on your clients. And so we got a couple of different programs in place. If you have any questions, you can just reach out and I'd be happy to help.
I did not know about that program. And I will say how important it really is. At our last Legends of Millennials, Wesley Ulloa, who is a broker of Lux Properties LLC, actually generated a lot of new, well, not new business, but reoccurring business by giving out gifts. So please, if you are having problems with just reaching out to your sphere of influence, go ahead and outsource it to my man Giovanni. He'll definitely help you out. People feel touched, they feel special, and it keeps you top of mind. So Giovanni, thank you so much for your time. Any final thoughts?
That's it. Just stay sharp.
I wish we could be all as sharp as you. That's going to be hard. All right. Do we have Nelson in the room with Infinity?
Yep, right here.
Nelson, thank you so much for being the other sponsor for this class. Please tell us about all of the wonderful things you do at Infinity Inspection.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me here, Kevin. So, going off the topic today of team building, it's very important to have a home inspector on your team. You're going to have mortgage brokers, you're going to have, other professionals, title companies and whatnot. But having a home inspector that you correlate with and you understand, it's extremely important. So here at Infinity Inspection Services, my name is Nelson. I am a master inspector. I've been doing inspections for almost 8 years now. I am the owner of the company. And, we provide inspections for all types of single family homes, townhouses, condos, multi-unit family buildings, just about anything, mobile homes. We do wind mitigation, 4-point inspections that you'll need in order to get your insurance and get your clients qualified. We do sewer camera inspections. I'm actually licensed also to do mold assessments. So what that means is I can do mold testing and get into detail about what the results are so that you understand, how harmful the mold is or isn't. Mold seems to be a big topic lately, and it does cause a lot of problems for a transaction, and it really doesn't need to if you really understand it. There are some instances where somebody may do a mold test and, unfortunately it kills your deal. So having an inspector with a lot of experience on your team can help you bypass maybe that tricky situation. So yeah, we do same day reports or first thing the next day. And just, we have about 3 or 4 people, different members on my team, and just, work Broward County, Dade County, Palm Beach, and Monroe counties, and just always looking to educate new realtors and help them understand the process and, just work with them and their clients to make sure everybody can get to that closing table and, be able to get one of those gifts out to, their new home buyers.
Thank you, Nelson. A quick question. If mold happens to be bad, do you offer services, or can you refer out the services to get to the house, get the house to where it can be sold and remove the mold?
So I'm also licensed in mold remediation. Okay. And one of the benefits of actually working with me is that I'm not going to charge what a mold remediation company will actually charge. I'm already invested in this deal. So what do I mean by that? Most mold remediation companies won't come out for less than their minimum dollar. A lot of times that's $4,000. Okay. If somebody has to fork out $4,000 to clean a wall of mold, that's going to hinder a deal. That's going to be a problem. Okay. I understand what's taking place where there's a buyer who wants this property, there's a seller who wants to sell it, and there's 2 professionals that are trying to negotiate this to work for everybody. And then I stand in the middle to a certain extent, of course. And where I understand that, these folks need to get what they want. So I am able to do the cleaning myself. And I typically do it for a fraction of the cost. And it's not to help either side, it's to help both sides.
Nelson, that's brilliant. I did not know about that about your company. So people, we all know how big of a problem mold is. And if you're looking to save money and get a same day report, which is huge, please reach out to our man yet Nelson with Infinity Inspections. Nelson, please go ahead and put your contact information in the chat. And please, if you know anybody who's dealing with mold right now, please send Nelson's information to them. He could not only save a deal, but also save a ton of money in the process process, which is
Definitely.
what we all love. So Nelson, do you
Yeah.
have any final words before we let you go?
Just, keep us in mind, Infinity Inspection Services. Like I tell everybody, we'll inspect your house like if it was our own. All right. I'll put my contact in the chat, and thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And with that, we are finally on to the main event. Leisel Taylor is in the house. She's sharing her screen right now. Everybody's thought about creating a team, but are you going to create the team for the right reasons? Are you ready to create a team? Well, Leisel has all the answers today, and we cannot wait for her to share her wisdom with us. Leisel, thank you so much for your time, and the floor is yours. Please take it away.
Hey, Kevin, thank you so much for having me. Just to make sure, can everyone see my screen? Everyone's good? Can you see my
Yes.
screen? Okay, perfect. And special also want to say thank you to Chandra for having me here today to share my knowledge and my little real estate journey and what I went through to build our team. All right, so we'll jump right into it. So just to give you guys a little bit about my background, you'll hear our accent a little bit. I'm originally from Trinidad. I migrated here years ago, but the accent will still kick in every once in a while. I actually started my team back in 2018 with my husband. So back then when we started, it was just me, my husband, and an executive assistant. And back in 2018, when we first started, we were doing about 20 million. Now we've actually built out our team where we have a total of 10 people that are on the team. 6 of them are producing agents, and 4 is our operations team, who basically handles the back end stuff with contracts, listings, all that stuff. And last year, we finished off the year with 35 million in sales. So the team has definitely grown. So I'm definitely here to share everything that I have learned in my process with growing the team. So guys, you'll realize this is pure practical. This is not theory. I'm really giving you the scoop on what it takes to build a team. So with that being said, I definitely want to start off this session just to let you guys know, it's just to provide a general overview of the steps that are needed to build a successful real estate team and a business worth owning, okay? Because that's what it's all about, right? Having a business that's definitely worth owning. All right, and the agenda for today, I'm keeping it simple. When should I start a team? These are questions that you're gonna ask yourself. When should I start a team? What type of mindset do you need to start your team? I'm also gonna help you with a business checklist of things that you need to do and things that you should do when you're starting this journey of building out your team. I'm going to share with you the who, how, and what is needed to build a team. And as we get into it, I'll explain more in detail. We're going to talk red light, green light, because we're going to talk about expenses and everything that you need to be mindful of when you're starting a team. And at the end, I want you guys to ask as many questions as time will permit. Kevin already warned me that I only have an hour, so I'm praying that I don't go over my time. But I definitely
We can go over.
I could
Sorry,
go.
we just try and stick with an hour. But if it's hot and it's rolling, let's roll with it.
Let's roll.
Don't
Okay.
feel pressured to rush.
Awesome. And I also asked Chandra to be my assistant today to help me with questions in the chat. Anyone knows me knows I don't like technology, so I definitely need her help with if any questions come up, she'll let us know so I can be sure to address them. All right, guys, ready to roll? All right. When should you start a team? See, I told you about my little technology challenge. So when should I start a team? Number 1, when you have more than enough business as a solo agent that you can handle. And I loved in our little promo, the lady there was already like, oh my God, I have so many leads, I need help. That is one of the indicators that you really should be starting a team. You know, you have more than enough business, you're getting overwhelmed. It could be a lot. And what also tends to happen is that your customer experience starts decreasing as you now have an increasing number of clients to service. So have any of you started getting that feedback from your clients where they're like, oh, I called you 2 days ago, you haven't called me back? or one of your favorite clients referred a listing to you, and then they're calling you like, yeah, did you talk to Jane about the listing? And you're looking at her like, shoot, I forgot to call Jane. So those are clear indicators that it's really time for you to start, building out your team. Or even an example, when you're going through that contract to close process and you just missed an inspection contingency deadline by like a day, because you literally woke up in the middle of the night sweating like, oh my goodness, was my deadline expiring today? So those are just clear indicators that you need help and you need to start building out your team. Also, many of you may already have an administrative assistant that's helping you. That's great. This is the perfect opportunity to build out your team, because your administrative assistant is going to be there to help you create the tools, systems, and everything that you need to run a team successfully. And don't worry, I'm going to dig into the meat and potatoes later. Also, it's time to start a team when you need to start creating systems to support the growth of your business. So as realtors, typically our goal is always to increase our business every year. We don't want to stay in the same place as we were last year. So with that being said, with growth means systems need to be implemented to keep up with this type of growth that you're experiencing in your business. And last but not least, when your brand awareness starts growing and you are establishing brand recognition. Excuse me. And I definitely want to share a personal story in that our team's name is the TaylorMade team. So I definitely knew our brand name was growing when our team members started sharing with me that their offers were getting accepted because of the team's name, that agents were starting to recognize our name. And they knew that if they accepted an offer from our team, it would go to closing. The agents were also sharing on our team that their offers were not necessarily the highest and best, but because the listing agent recognized the team's name, they chose their offer and chose to negotiate directly with them so that they can come to mutually beneficial terms that would be happy for both the buyer and seller. So that was another huge aha for me when I was like, oh my God, our name is really getting out there. That out of 20 offers, our agents' offers were getting picked because they were seeing the TaylorMade team brand on the paperwork. On the flip side, and this is a funny story, what was also happening was that when the team members had listings, buyers agents, would call them personally and say that they knew me personally and had done business with me. And I'm going to share a little secret with you guys. I'm not sure if it's going to be a secret with you anymore because there's so many people on the team on this call. My team members actually truly knew who knew me by the way they pronounced my name. So earlier today, I sent Kevin like a cheat note on how to pronounce my name because I know it's different. So my name is pronounced Leisel, right? So agents will call the team members for listing agents and be like, yeah, I've done business with Leisel, or I've done business with Leslie before. So they already knew in the back of their mind that they have never worked with me. And it was kind of funny because they would laugh in the back of their mind like, yeah, they don't know who she is and they're just saying that to get the business. And so that's how I definitely knew our team's brand was going. And another thing that happened was that clients and friends, as they were driving by neighborhoods or walking by, they would send me text messages with pictures of our team signs in different neighborhoods. And I was like, okay, we're getting out there. So that's also a clear indication that your brand is growing when you're definitely starting to have brand recognition. All right. Mindset. This is definitely something you have to take into consideration when you're ready to start your real estate team. What type of mindset is needed to grow your real estate team? Number one, guys, you have to think that you are the president and CEO of your real estate company. That is so, so important because you are the one that's going to be responsible for building out your team, for getting the name out there. You are the president and CEO of this real estate company. So that is definitely the first mindset that you have to have. Another mindset is you are working with people. This is a relationship business. So you're definitely going to be a servant leader, a coach, a mentor, and sometimes even a psychiatrist. because there are times when your team members are going to have personal things that they're dealing with in their life, and they may not feel comfortable sharing it with family or even their close friends. And they trust you enough where they're going to come to you to share sometimes their deepest, darkest secrets, because after all, they're trusting you with helping them grow their real estate business. So that's definitely something to consider. And even being a servant leader. Yes, you are their leader, but you're really a servant leader because you're partnering with these agents and coaching and teaching them how to grow their business. You have to be learning based. You have to be consistently investing in yourself. One of the things when I first started building out the team, I started reading books. And I was also grateful that I had my husband who was along this journey with me, because he is an avid reader. So he would share with me the books that I needed to read to help build my mindset so that I can ensure that I was continuously providing value to my team members. So you definitely have to be learning based. You have to attend classes. I attended a lot of classes in the beginning. I attended classes with executive assistant, like what should I look for when I'm hiring my first executive assistant? I also attended classes that helped me with mindset, to change my mindset around the way I did business with helping my team grow. I also attended classes with, contract writing, just to make sure that when I was ready to coach my team, I was not just coaching them on things that I assumed I knew about a contract. It was actually correct in what I was coaching them. So I'm saying that to say, I kind of took myself back to the basics of like starting over as a brand new agent, because in the back of my mind, I knew that I was training my team members and they're going to take whatever I train them to do and run with it. You also have to be the rainmaker. That is, you are the person who's bringing in the business and the leads. That is the one thing you definitely have to wrap your mind again around, that you are definitely going to be the rainmaker on this team. You're going to be the one who is responsible for getting that brand recognition out there, because once again, your team members are trusting you to help them build their business and also to have successful careers. And you must also be ready to train your team members. Sometimes we have the belief that clients only want to work with you as the team leader or rainmaker. In fact, let me ask that question right now. How many of you believe that you can't grow a team because clients only want to work with you? How many of you guys think that? Just raise your hand. Anyone? Okay, but yes, sorry, I told you guys technology is challenge. But yes, sometimes we do have that mindset that only clients want to work with you. And one thing we have to understand is that our clients are only truly seeking the service that was provided by you. So right now, clients come to you because they're comfortable with you and they already know the type of level of service that you're going to provide to them. So your role as the team leader, is now to coach your team members to do business the same way that you do. Basically, you're going to start creating processes to make everything that you do duplicated by your team member. So that's definitely one of the mindset you have to get into, that you have to be ready to train your team members in the manner in which you do business, so that your clients will stay with you and will feel comfortable working with your team members if they're not able to work with you directly. I see some comments in the chat all the time. Yes. Gabe, don't be ashamed to say yes. I had that same mindset. That's why I can share my experience with you. Donna says yes. Gabe says all the time. Phil says yes. Antonia said absolutely. So yes, guys, you're not the only ones. I had that same mindset that I'm the only one who could service this client. No one can do it as good as me. Trust me, I can honestly tell you, my team members absolutely service my clients way better than I do. And that just means that I had the mindset that I had to be ready to train them to do business a certain way. And I'm very happy that I did. So thank you for your transparency. Okay, guys. All right. Your business checklist. What do you need to start your team? All right, this is the important thing right here. Are you truly operating as a business? You know what I mean? How many of you are truly operating your real estate business as a business? How many have you created a name for your business? All right, anyone wants to share in the chat again? Anyone wants to be transparent? No? Okay, that's fine. So one of the steps is you definitely have to start truly operating your business as a business and create a name for your business. As I said in my beginning, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. And Jay-Z said it perfectly. We all have to start operating our real estate business as a business. Next up, you definitely want to create a business entity for your team. Since you are operating as a business, you definitely want to have your business entity set up. I would suggest there is the LLC or S Corp. You have to decide what is the best option for you. In this case, I would say talk to your tax professional regarding tax advantages. Everyone has different financial and tax situations. So definitely seek out preferably a CPA to have those conversations to see what structure best works for you and your team in your business. Next up, definitely get an EIN from the IRS. It's free. If you've Googled how to get an EIN and websites pop up that you're going to pay $400 or $500, don't. You just have to go to irs.gov. Getting your EIN is free, and it's an extremely simple process. You should not be paying anyone to get an EIN. All right, so if you click on a website, it's like $300 or $50, get off that website and just go straight to irs.gov. You also want to get an EIN number because as in step one, we are truly operating our business as a business. So we are going to get paid in the name of our business to also receive the many, many, many tax advantages that are out there as a business owner. You also want to open a business operating account. And you can't do this unless you have set up your business as a business and also an EIN number, because that's the information the bank is going to require from you. So you want to set up a business operating account, you want to set up a business savings account, and you want to set up a business tax account. You should not be commingling your business and your personal funds. Avoid tax problems. All right, let me look in the chat, see if I have any questions. They asked to reduce them right up the video and there go. Okay, got it. That's just, don't forget to ask about PA, would you provide anything else? Sure, that's not a problem. But yes, you definitely want to set up your 3 separate accounts. Me personally, I do have 3 separate accounts, and I actually have them with 3 separate banks because that's how my mind operates. I can't have everything in one location. So I have my business operating account with PNC Bank. I have my business savings account with Navy Federal. And then I have my business tax account with TD Bank. Sorry, I had to remember the name really quickly because I want to ensure that my business structure is set up correctly so that if anything I need to do for my business, such as when COVID happened, I wanted to take advantage of the grants that were available. I was able to do that because my team was set up as a business and I was able to take advantage of many of the opportunities out there. Gabe, I see that you raised your hand. What question you have? Was that a mistake? Okay.
I think he was just, he was raising his hand about something else earlier.
Okay. All right. And I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions in the chat. Sorry. Okay, Gabe, no problem. I just wanted to make sure I answered your question. And last but not least, you definitely have to decide what your team structure will be. You will need to create an organizational chart to define the roles of your team members and know who is responsible for what. So on our team, we do have an organizational chart that was created because I wanted to show there was clarity between what the operations team was responsible for versus our agents who are out in the field producing. So we have an org chart where the director of operations, who is my husband, his role is clearly defined for what his role is in our team organization. We have an office manager. His role is clearly defined so that team members will know exactly what to go to for him and for what. We also have our agents who are producing agents. We have used a hybrid model on our team, and it works for our team. We've had a lot of success, but it's still these different roles. The listing agent, we have that role defined for what the listing agent is responsible for. We also have the roles defined for what the buyer's agent is responsible for, because we wanted to show everyone had a clear understanding of what their path was. Okay, I saw someone else raise their hand. Who's that? Someone raised their hand? Okay, Janine Gibson said, oh, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
That's you? That's your question I'm getting to?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I just want to be clear. Sorry to go back on this again. I just want to be clear. You have a business tax account. I've never heard of that before. What's the difference between that and a business checking or a business savings?
It's just what I named them. It's just where I park money to ensure that my taxes are paid. So I just called it a business tax account. So
Okay.
every commission check, a portion is put aside into the business tax account to account for our quarterly taxes.
Okay, understood.
Yeah,
Yes.
so sorry. Yeah, so it could be a checking account, is whatever works for you. At TD Bank, I just use a business checking account because, of course, I want to earn interest on my money while it's there waiting to pay taxes.
Of course.
Yeah, I just designated it our business tax account. That way I don't have to deal with Mr. IRS at the end of the year if I don't have to.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Did I miss someone else? All right. All right, any other questions before I move on? No, okay, let's move on. All right, business checklist continued. You also have to create your vision and mission statement. What is your team's purpose? What are your goals? What are your goals for your team? What are you doing in the community to help others? This will also be a big part of your culture that you create for your team and your business. Culture on our team is very big for us. Basically, one of our statements is, we operate as a family, we treat each other as family, but at the end of the day, we're still business. So coming onto our team, agents understand that we are operating as a business. However, we are going to treat each other as family, but at the end of the day, it is still a business. This is going to be very important in creating how agents will, for lack of a better word, act while they're on your team. Because you do want to create a certain type of environment on your team where agents will want to come and stay and feel at home. So creating your mission and vision statement is very important for defining the type of culture that will be on your team. Also, creating a business plan is so important. You definitely need a roadmap for where you want your business to grow and how is it going to happen. So definitely create a 1-year, 3-year, and 5-year business plan. You must have a path to follow. Where do you see your team and business in year 1? Where do you see your team growth and business in year 3? Where do you see your growth in year 5? These are definitely steps you have to implement because it's so important for tracking purposes. I am big on tracking. So I have a 1-year, 3-year, 5-year, and even a 10-year plan. But also in the middle of that, I've also broken down my business into smaller portions where every 6 months, I have conversations with my husband to see where our business and team is growing. So that's something else that's very important that you want to implement. You want to see where your business is and be able to track it. And then it's also a good way where you can look back and be like, wow, I can't believe in year 1, this is where we are. And now here we are, year 5. You can really see the growth and be able to track it. Compiling financial statements for your business and team. Most of us as agents do not want to deal with it, and it's fine. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those agents. I come from an accounting background, so I'm one of the weirdos who likes numbers. But I know most agents don't like doing financial statements, and it's okay. Hire a bookkeeper. You should always have a balance sheet and a profit and loss statement to track your revenue coming in and the expenses that you invest in your business. Because when you review your 1-year, 2-year, or 3-year expenses, you may spot areas in your spending that will need to be trimmed, or other areas in which you can invest more in your business because there was such a great rate of return on that investment. So that's why having financial statements is so important. And like I said, for me, I check them every 6 months to see where we're going. But you definitely at least want to prepare it annually. But I'll be honest, if you wait until the end of the year, it's going to be difficult because you're going to be looking for receipts and where did I spend this and why did I do that? So it's really best practices if your profit and loss and balance sheet is prepared on a monthly basis. I have a bookkeeper who does it for me. And, you know, at the end of the month, I just take a quick glance at it to make sure I'm on track with my spending. But this is something that's really important that you have to, you know, start creating for your business. Okay, I see I may have some questions. What would be a great recommendation to split your commission check into those 3 business accounts? Gabe, I agree with you. That is a great answer. 20 to 30% is a good place to start if you don't have prior reports to retrieve your track rate. That is a great rate. So for me, I just put aside 50% of my commission check, and that's all divvied up between the savings and the tax account, and the rest of it I reinvest in my business. And that's another reason I'm going to be transparent with you guys why I have 3 different banks, because if I see all that money sitting in one account, it's going to get spent and I'm going to be in trouble with my husband at the end of the day. So having all those accounts is a great way to ensure that our money goes where it's supposed to, and I don't have uncomfortable conversations with him at the end of the month. Also, get right with the IRS. Some of us have been guilty about not paying the IRS. I am going to raise my hand. I was one of those people when I first started in business, because as a brand new agent, I made $10,000 on one deal. Who does it? 15,000? Okay, I could go shopping. Did I pay taxes? Absolutely not. Who's the IRS? I don't know them. They ain't no kin to me. Why I gotta give them money? But that will put you in trouble. So you definitely want to get right with the IRS. If that's something you haven't done previously, this is something you really need to put in practice with your business now, and that you need to start paying estimated taxes quarterly. And that turns back to the business tax account that I mentioned earlier, because I already have money that's automatically going right into that account. When I have to pay my quarterly taxes, it's a no-brainer because that account is already set up and that money's already coming out to pay the IRS. So that is one of the reasons why I created that account, because I just didn't want to think about it anymore. Somebody raised their hand. I'm sorry. Who raised their hand?
I did.
Yay, Miss Queen Valerie, I love it.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, I have a question. Going back. Let's say you're running your business already, but I hear you saying about vision and mission statement when you're building a team.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go back and start a new business, or you would bring them up under the umbrella of your business that's running? Because if everything is already set up, you're going to bring the vision and the mission statement up under the business that exists now?
Why not? Add it to your business. You're improving. Okay. So create the vision and mission statement for your business now. You already have it up and running, which already means you know where you want your business to go, right?
Yes, yes.
Exactly. Yes. So now just add it and put it in writing, because in your head, you know where you want your business to go. But until it's written down and you can look at that mission and vision statement every day, that's what really makes it real. So yes, go back and definitely add that mission and vision statement to your business right now.
Okay. Because I'm thinking about it, because when I'm seeing my CPA and how things were set up, would I go and probably have her to redo things? I'm kind of a little confused there.
That's why I said have conversations with your CPA. They will provide the best guidance for you. For me, my conversation with my CPA is that I needed to pay taxes quarterly. So I would say rely on your CPA to give you the proper tax advice on what you need to do with your business.
Thank you.
Okay, does that help?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you, Miss Queen. All right, and she's getting right with the IRS. So I love that, Miss Queen, that you're getting right with the IRS.
Oh, I've been there where you're speaking about.
And I have no desire to go back, right?
I have no desire to go back.
Exactly. So that's why I was telling this queen that, as a business owner, you should be paying estimated taxes quarterly. But I'm also saying that these are conversations that you should be having with your tax professional, and they will be the best ones to guide you on how your tax situation should be set up. All right, moving on. How will it get done? This is the nitty-gritty of it. How will it get done? With who? Meaning, who are the people that will help you with growing this team? How? What systems are you going to use with growing this team? And what tools are you going to use to help with the growth of your team? So who are you going to hire to grow your team? The first hire should always be administrative leverage. One thing I've noticed, and I'm guilty of this, guys, I'm not saying anything that I haven't done, is that before we hire administrative leverage, we go right into hiring a buyer's agent because we're like, oh, all these leads are coming in, I need help. Let's go ahead and get a buyer's agent right away. Miss Queen, you have another question? Okay, that was the error. All right, so your first hire should always be your administrative leverage, because this is the person that is responsible for helping to create the systems and manage the tools that are needed to grow your business. They will also help you get your time back so that you can pursue more business and other opportunities. You should have administrative leverage before hiring any buyer or listing agents. And the reason I say that is because your administrative leverage is the one who's going to implement the systems to track the leads that are being assigned to your buyer's agent. Because right now you're giving leads to people who are supposed to be helping you with growing your business, and you're probably not tracking them properly as who got this lead? Did they get this lead? What's going on with these leads? So that's why you want to have your administrative person first, so that they'll be responsible for tracking whoever gets leads that are assigned to buyer's agents. Let me peek in the chat real quick. Yep, administrative leverage could be the same as a TC. And I'm going into that next. How do you compensate each person? Arlene, that is a great question. I think it varies by state. For me and my team, because of the amount of business that we do, our administrative help is on salary. But there are situations, if you're just starting out, we can just pay them on a contract, on a per file basis, an hourly basis, is whatever works best for you. And that comes back to doing the financial statements and creating a budget, because then you'll see how much you are able to afford to hire this administrative leverage that you need in your business. So I hope that answers your question. But I definitely want to share with you guys that I want you to understand the difference between an executive assistant and transaction coordinator. And I think that's what the last question was getting into. Your executive assistant, the role of this individual is the person who's really going to assist with building out the operational division of your team's business. Basically, your executive assistant will eventually, or should eventually, lead to be the CEO or COO of your team. So because their role is important, they're going to be responsible for help you create the systems. They're going to be responsible for helping you manage the tools. They're also going to be responsible for helping you manage the team as you grow. Whereas a transaction coordinator, their role is solely to manage and complete the many tasks that are associated with the purchase and selling process of a home. Starting off, when you're starting your team, your first hire will be a TC, and that's fine. We all started there because we needed to get leverage and we needed to get our time back. And we also needed someone to help us, get to closing. So having a TC as a first hire, many people have done that. But eventually you do want to hire some additional leverage, such as your executive assistant, because the more business that you do, you'll see that you need some additional people to help you with the other aspects of growing your business. All right, thanks for helping with the questions in the chat. I appreciate you guys. So what systems are you going to implement and hold your team accountable as you grow your business? You must create systems where no matter the size of your team, they can still be used. These systems must be consistent. And that's why it's so important to have your admin help you with this, because you want to have the same system for everything that you do in your business. Because remember, as you're bringing agents onto your team, these are the systems that they're going to use to produce and do whatever it takes to help you with the growth. And some examples of systems, it's really simple. When people hear systems, that because I know when I first used to hear systems, I was like, oh my God, that's too much. But when I really sat down and thought about it, I just needed to document how I do business and how I want the team to do business so everyone's on the same page. Examples of systems are, what is the process for putting a listing on the market? On our team, we've made it simple. There's a jot form that each team member must complete with information that we've already put in there as to, the seller, where did the lead come from, the listing price, the commission. It was just a simple jot form that each agent knows when they get a listing, they must fill it out and upload the executed listing agreement. And then our operations team takes it over from there. Also, what process are you using to track your team members' production numbers? Like, what system do you have in place currently to track your team members' production numbers? Right now, our system, and I'm giving you guys some examples, it may or may not work for you, but our team, we use a tool called CTE, which is a tool that I've had since I started doing real estate in 2013. I love it. I'm not leaving it alone. So I'm the type of person, I'm a creature of habit. I'm going to stick with what I know. So that's what we use to track our team's business. We use CTE to help us with the numbers. How are ratified contracts submitted by team members? On our team, we have a separate jot form that's for ratified contracts only. And once again, when a team member gets a ratified contract, they have to fill out the name of the client, when is the inspection date, all that good stuff, upload the ratified contract. And once it's submitted, the operation team takes over the process from there. So what methods will you use to communicate with your team? How will you communicate with your team as it grows? On our team, we use GroupMe because I don't want to be calling all the team members to tell them the same information. If it's something big, if it's something really quick, I put it in GroupMe. Otherwise, we have a monthly team meeting and also a daily huddle for 15 minutes where we check in with the team members to see how they're doing. So also some people use Slack. That's also a great tool that can be used. But once again, you just want to create systems. You want to start putting systems in place that will support the growth of your team. Thank you, Chandra. Yes, you definitely want the systems to be repeatable and scalable. Also, some tools. I'll just have some suggestions of some tools to track and assign leads to team members. What CRM will you use? Some examples of CRMs out there. I'm familiar with Sync and Firepoint. We use Firepoint as our CRM. That's how we track what leads are assigned to agents on our team. That way our operations team in the background can go back and follow up to make sure our agents on the team are following up with the leads that are assigned to them. This is a huge tracking method because you want to ensure that your agents are being productive and following up on those leads that you as the team leader and rainmaker worked very hard to get. Manage the contract to close process. What tool will you use for that? Some people hire a third-party transaction coordinator, which is great. We have a full-time transaction coordinator in-house. Some people will use ClickUp, Trello. One transaction coordinating company I know about is Transactly and ACS. What tool? And once again, this has to be repeatable and scalable because every agent on your team should be using the same system and the same tool. It should not be a situation where for your team, you're using Sync, but your team member has their own top producer account. Everybody is using the same systems and tools because we're all growing together as a team. Also, how are you keeping track of active listings, your pendings, and your closed transactions? Once again, I shared CTE. I'm a fan of CTE. I'm sorry, that's what I know. But CTE has great systems and tools that help you keep track of your active listings, your pending, your closed transactions, your volume codes. That's what we use. I think it's a great tool. I'm not trying to push it, but I also wanted to share what we're using to ensure the growth of our team. And last but not least, team communication. How are updates provided? I mentioned earlier that we use GroupMe. I know there are other teams that use Slack. We do, like I said, we do monthly team meetings. We meet on a daily basis. And also we have group meet where one of our team members, if they have a quick question and they want the other team members' input, they just type it in. And if a team member is available, if I'm available or my husband or the operations team, they can jump in and answer that agent's question quickly and not interrupt the flow of business. Red light, green light. We're going to talk about some money now. Okay, the part that everybody loves to talk about. You should always lead with revenue and track your expenses. You need to also check on the ROI on items that you're spending your money on before adding on additional expense in your business. You should track these items for a minimum of 6 months. So in building out your team, you definitely want to lead with revenue and track your expenses. Some of us have the mindset where we'll just spend the money and we'll get it back at closing, because I know that's what a lot of companies love to tell us. Oh, it will pay for itself in one closing check. No, that is not true. You truly need to check the ROI on items that you're spending your money on before adding on additional expense in your business. Once again, I'm coming back to start operating your business as a business. Check that P&L, talk to your tax professional. Make sure you're doing everything that you need to do to ensure that you're truly operating your business and a team as a true business. I have to say this because as agents, I'm guilty of it. I'm not telling you guys anything that I haven't done myself. Stay away from shiny objects. As realtors, we're all guilty of chasing after the new best thing instead of focusing on the activities that generated business in the first place. We tend to forget the lead generation activities that helped us grow our business to where it is currently. You should be gradually adding a new lead source and holding that lead source accountable until that ROI is realized. Has it really increased your business, or did you just spend unnecessary money? And that's where it comes back to looking at your P&L, looking at your budget. All those things come into play here with leading with revenue and tracking your expenses. And definitely you want to have a budget or business plan to follow. So once again, it comes back to creating your business plan, creating a budget. You have to sit down and really look at the numbers and understand what you can truly afford, how much leverage you can afford to hire, how much you can afford to spend on lead sources. These are all things you need to sit down and really create a budget and plan for, so that you're not taken surprised. You're not surprised by anything that happens in your business. And once you've completed your business plan, because I know most of us should have completed our business plan for 2022, right? You need to stick to it, and it must be a realistic business plan. And the reason I'm saying realistic is because sometimes what sense does it make to have a business plan or a budget model if you do not stick to it? So if you look at some of your numbers and you're like, can I really do that? That's not a realistic and true number for what you need to spend on your business. And that's what I wrapped up after I've talked to you guys. Anyone has any questions or ahas that they learned today? Are we able to get a copy of this meeting? You sure can. I will be talking with Kevin, so I guess we can follow up with Kevin for that information. Miss Johanna, you raised your hand.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. My question is, with how many people do you start your team? And for example, in my case, I'm a boutique, a small real estate company, but I also want to create my team because I still act your recommendation.
Okay, Johanna, I got the gist of the question is how much people you should start for your team, correct? That's the gist I got because we lost you for a little bit. Is she still there or we lost her? All right, but even if she's not, once again, it comes back. Oh, you still there? Yeah, you're back. It comes back to creating that budget and that style, that created that budget, and also reviewing your financial statements. You said you're a small team. I started off small. My first hire was my transaction coordinator. because I needed help with getting my transactions to closing. And when I hired my transaction coordinator initially, I started off on a per closing basis where my transaction coordinator was paid per closed file. I was not in the financial position where I was ready to have to be committed to a yearly or annual salary. So start with what you can afford. All right, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't mean, I don't
Yes,
mean
and-
go out and hire everyone at once. It's a gradual thing. And that's why it comes back to my point with creating your business plan, where you see your business in year 1, where you see your business in year 3, where you see your business in year 5. Plan it out where you want your business to be. All right. Are you open to sharing your contact information? Absolutely, Donna. I have the slide up right now. My email is leisel.taylor@villagepremier.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram. I'm usually posting tips about what's going on in the real estate world, which is Leisel_tailormade_broker. Did you start your team as a real estate associate or broker? Is it good to start a team when you're not a broker? Absolutely. I started off as a single agent. Well, no, I'm sorry. I started off with my husband because my husband joined me in the business. So when we first started our team, it was just my husband and myself and a transaction coordinator. And then as we grew, that's when we started adding administrative leverage first. And then we brought on buyer's agents. I was not a broker at the time. To be fully transparent, what I can say is that because of the growth of our team, I was able to have the opportunity where I transitioned into the broker role, and I'm now able to open my own brokerage. So that is a great question, but no, you don't have to start off as a broker. You can start off as a sales associate. But you know what? I should say also check Miami laws. I'm in Maryland. Chandra, you can start off as a team as an associate, right? You don't have to be a broker.
Yeah, absolutely. You do not need to be a broker in order to operate as a team and to run a team. There are just some team advertising rules that we would have to follow, but you do not have to be a broker. I had put in the link for the team advertising rules, but I'll put it in the chat again.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for that, Chandra. Yeah, that's the only thing I would say. It is state specific, but I know in Maryland to start a team, I just had to take additional CE classes, which were leadership and supervision classes, but I was only a sales associate when I started my team. What do you do for lead generation? If I tell you guys, you'll be very surprised. I would say when my husband and I were looking at our numbers, 80% of our business has been repeat and past clients and referrals. So our lead generation, we target those clients because in tracking our numbers, I'm going to use keywords from the presentation, we were able to realize that that's where the bulk of our business is. So we really focus on that client experience with our team because we see that's where the majority of our business comes from. Any other questions? Oh yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Chandra, for that. Everyone says thank you. You guys are so welcome. This was my pleasure. Like I said earlier, this is a journey for me that was practical. It's not just theory. This was truly my journey and things I learned on my journey that I wish someone had literally told me in the beginning. So I'm very happy to share my experience with you and, make sure that you guys don't make the same mistakes I did. Because when I started my team, I now had to go back and everything that I'm sharing with you, I then had to implement as my team started growing. You're so welcome. Can we get your slides? I'll refer to Kevin on that. Kevin, do I just send it to you and you can distribute it? How will that work?
If that would probably be easiest. Although if you would like the registration list from today, we'll happily provide that for you as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Like I said, feel free to please follow me on Instagram. I've put my email address if you have any questions. If I can help, I am more than happy to. Chandra, can I share our secret that I used to coach you back in the day?
Yeah, I will say this. What she just shared with you guys is like the most brief overview that she possibly can, given the amount of time we have. She is a wealth of knowledge. She was actually my coach for some time. So she is she's just a wealth of information. So please follow her. And she's an amazing resource.
Yes,
So
Chandra.
thank you so much, Leisel, for doing this for our members and everybody who's attending our class. Thank you.
Absolutely, because I want to be a YPN member, because I'm mad that because of my age, they said I can't be YPN.
We never said that. We do not discriminate on age.
Well, they do over here in Maryland, so I do feel some type of way about that.
So we don't discriminate here in Miami.
I need to come to Miami then. But everyone, thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you have my information. I'm more than happy to help. Have an amazing day. And Kevin, I'll email the slides over to you where you can share it.
Thank you so much. And for everybody who asked, we will have a recording of the class. We will send out the slides as well with the class recording. And our next class is coming up in 2 weeks. It is with Mills Bender. She's going to teach us about money management. So if you would like to learn how to save money a little better and maybe put some of that money aside so that you can afford more team members, like she said earlier, we'll have that information for you coming up in 2 weeks. If emails that promoted this class, if you scroll down below Leisel's promotion, Mills is right there. So please sign up for that class. Leisel, thank you so much. You are definitely an honorary member of Miami YPN. And we'll talk to you about some of the benefits of that coming up later. Because we're not stopping in Miami this year. We're going to connect the whole globe, and we would love for you to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. Have a good day,
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a great day.
Bye.
And be great, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah,